Hi everyone, welcome to another 30-minute Pilates. Today we are going to be doing all stretches, so we've got technically no Pilates work involved. So there's no core work, nothing too stressful. Mum's cheering, it's pure stretches. So I hope you enjoy and we'll get started. So we're going to start stood up with our feet together. We're going to turn our toes out. We're going to take our heels out to join them too. Now I want you to think about grounding down to that big toe, little toe and heel. So just equally distribute your weight. Coming up to the knees, we're going to have the knees nice and spongy, so maybe just give those a bit of a wiggle. Up to our hips. I'm going to keep the hips nice and level. So I want you to imagine you've got two little headlights on the hip bones here. They're facing forward and they're going to be in a nice line there. You might just need to tilt the pelvis, or just turn forward and backwards slightly, just to find that midpoint for you. We don't want to be sticking it too far out or too far under. So just find that midpoint. Keep that pelvis nice and level. Coming up to our core, we're just going to pull the belly button in slightly, just create a bit of tension there. Our ribs, we're going to think about knitting the ribs down to the pelvis as well. So this whole section, all here, is going to be nice and tight and all as flat as we can get it. We're going to move up to our shoulders. So we want to take a deep breath in through our nose, pick our shoulders up towards our ears, push them back and breathe out through your mouth. Fantastic. So picking it up, pushing it back and breathing it out as you go back down. Fantastic. So just use this time to slow the breath down. Just relax a little bit. Into the nose and back out through the mouth. I'm going to do two more. Just make them a little bit bigger each time. And we're going to slide the shoulder blades down the back into our back pockets. Fantastic. We're going to do our lateral flexion first. So imagine you've got that pane of glass in front and behind you. Lengthen up through the spine. And we're just going to slide in between those two panes of glass. So you want to think about keeping the hips nice and still. So try not to push the hips out. We're keeping the weight equally distributed in the feet as much as we can. And we're just stretching either side. And just let the arms dangle. Lengthening up in the centre. Breathing in through your nose. And then back out through your mouth. We're going to go one more each side. I'm going to finish back in the centre. And we're going to do our spinal rotation. So just place the hands lightly on the arms, lengthen back up through that spine, take a deep breath into the nose, and then as you breathe out, we're just going to twist the top half of the body side to side. So back into the centre, all the way around to the other side. Now we're keeping the hips forward still, so those two little headlights on the front of the hips, they're facing forward, so we're not twisting through the legs like this. We're keeping the bottom part of the body deadly still. We're just twisting from the waist up. Breathing in through your nose, and back out through your mouth. Okay, we're going to go one more each side. We're going to finish back in the centre. I'm going to float our arms down towards our sides. We're going to do our roll downs next, so make sure you have enough room in front of you. You can keep the feet underneath the hips, you can take them a little bit wider. But we're going to lengthen up through the spine, so we're going to grow tall towards the ceiling. We're going to take a deep breath into the nose. On the out breath, we're going to tuck the chin. We're going to roll the shoulders forward slightly. We're going to roll into the waist. And we're going to take the hands roughly down towards the knees. We're then going to breathe in when we get here. And we're going to breathe out and we're slowly going to roll that back up. So keeping the belly button pulled in. We're stacking the spine back up, finishing with the shoulders and stacking the head. Breathing in at the top, breathing out. We're going to repeat this a few times. So we're really thinking about tucking the chin in, just letting the shoulders come forward, rolling through the waist, into the hips, just taking it down a little bit further this time. When you get to the bottom, breathing in and breathing back out. Making sure you've got a nice bend in the knees too. We don't want to overstretch the hamstrings. They're not warm enough to stretch them just yet. Shoulders back up and the head. So take your time with the movement, work with your breathing. In at the top, out on the way down, back in at the bottom, and then out on the way back up. Just taking it a little bit further each time, just trying to relax the arms a little bit. Maybe putting a bigger bend on the knees if you get further down. A little squeeze of the glutes should help you lift that back up too. Keeping the belly button pulled in. Relaxing the shoulders. We're going to do one more and we're going to finish down on this next one. So take your time, lengthening up at the top, breathing in, breathing out. Rolling that down. Just relax the arms, relax the shoulders. And it'll be like a floppy rag doll. And once you get as far as you can, just put a bigger bend in the knees. Relax the head, maybe give it a bit of a wobble. If you want, you can place each hand on your elbow, so you've got this ragdoll style. Relaxing the shoulders down, relaxing the arms. Breathing in through your nose. Breathing back out through the mouth. And just let gravity pull the spine down towards the floor. So it's just elongating that spine, creating space. Okay, when you're ready, I'm going to come down onto all fours. We're going to place our feet together. We're going to take our knees further apart. We're then going to walk the hands slightly further forward. So just kind of as far as you can go. We're then going to sit the bum back for our child's pose. And this should give you a really good stretch. Just taking the hands forward first. You should feel that down either side of the body. Just place your forehead on the floor and take some deep breaths here. Just think about sinking the bum down towards the floor. Okay, we're going to pick up our right arm while we're here and we're going to thread that underneath our left armpit. I'm going to place the side of the head on the floor. So this is just stretching the back of the shoulder. It should feel quite nice in the spine too. Okay, we're going to unthread that arm. I'm going to go the opposite side. So pick the left arm up, slide that underneath the right armpit. And just place the side of the head on the floor. Okay, we're going to unthread that arm. I'm going to place both hands on the floor. We're going to come up into an all fours kneeling position and we're going to go into our hurdler stretch. So we're going to bring our one leg forward. We're going to sit back. So we're in our 90-90 position with our legs. So this is our hurdler stretch. I'm going to turn around to the side slightly. So you should have the front leg bent forward like a half, like you're going to cross your legs, so it's half, and the other one bent back like a mermaid. Fantastic. Now if you want to stay here, if that's comfortable for you, you can. That's absolutely fine. You should feel a bit of a stretch here, maybe a bit of a stretch in the glute as well. As long as you can feel it mainly in the legs, you're doing well. Now, if you want to, we can turn this into a pigeon stretch. So we're going to place our hands just to the side of our bent leg that's in front, and we're going to twist that leg over. So straighten that back leg, and we're going to twist the hips under. So you'll have that, we're sitting kind of on that front bent leg now. Our back leg is straight out behind us. I want you to walk your hands back towards your knee, so we're nice and upright. You'll notice you get more of a stretch in your hip flexor here. If this is a lot on your knee, you can sit on the leg if that's better. So just alter where you want that leg. Some people can pull the foot quite far forward. If that's comfortable for you, you can do that. I want you to take a quick glance at that back leg. You want to make sure that your knee and the top of your foot is on the floor. So you might just need to tuck the leg under slightly, so we're getting the most out of that stretch. Taking a few deep breaths here, in through the nose, and back out through the mouth. Okay, if you want to add a quad stretch in here, you can bend that back leg up, and you can just keep it here, or if you want to take the hand round to the ankle, you can pull that leg in there. So you can hold that here, or again, if you want to take that forward further, you can bring the foot as far in as you can. Okay, we're going to release that back, and we're going to switch sides. So just place the weight in your hands, bring that leg in, and we're going to do our hurdler stretch the opposite side. So bring the other leg forward, take that other leg back in that 90 degree position. Again, if you want to stay here, if this is comfortable for you, you can. If not, we can turn. So we can straighten that back leg, and then we can flip our hips over, placing the hands roughly either side of the knee. Once you're relatively comfortable, we're going to bring our hands back as close to our body as we can, so roughly in line with the knee, but if you can bring them back even further, fantastic. Just alter that front leg where you need to pop it, so whether that's further out or tucked further in. Then I want you to glance back at this leg. Make sure that knee and the top of the foot is flat on the floor. If not, just tuck that under. So we're just kind of rolling the foot out almost to give that nice stretch down the hip flexor. So you'll feel it down the front of the body here. You'll feel it in your glute. You'll feel it into your quads, just generally in the lower half of the body. Take some deep breaths here. If you want to increase this side and add your quad stretch in, bend that back leg up. And if you like, you can take hold of that foot. Okay, we're going to release that leg back. We're going to roll over onto our bum. We're going to bring that back leg in to join this front leg and place our feet together and have our knees out to the side. So I never really know what this position's called. There's lots of different words for it online. I've heard it called a diamond, a lotus, or a genie. But we're going to have our feet together. The knees are going to be out. You just place the hands lightly on the feet or on the ankles as well, depending on how long your arms are. So whatever's comfortable. I want you to think about lengthening up through the spine as well. So we're pushing the chest forward and we're just pulling the top of the head up towards the ceiling. So we've got a nice, long, straight back. Just taking some deep breath here. I want you to think about trying to push the knees down towards the floor. So you're going to slightly squeeze the glutes, and this is going to pull the knees down, give you that extra little bit of stretch. So we're making this a bit of more of an active stretch as opposed to a passive stretch. If you want to adjust your feet, you can pull them closer in towards you. in through your nose, breathing back out through the mouth. Okay, we're going to walk our hands slightly further forward. And we're just going to lean. I want you to keep your elbows bent. Don't stretch that out because we find that we just end up stretching the upper part of the back. So we're going to keep the elbows nice and bent. And we're going to think about getting the chest down towards the feet. So not the belly button. We're going to aim to get the chest down. Taking some deep breath here. Roll the spine back up. And we're just going to place our feet in a comfortable position. So if you want to stay here, you can. If you want to cross the legs, you can also do that. We're going to do some neck stretches. So just make sure the lower part of the body is nice and comfy. The arms can just be loose on the knees. They can be loose either side or in front of you, wherever's comfortable. I want you to think about lengthening the spine up towards the ceiling. So we've got that really nice tall back. And we're pulling the shoulders back a little bit too as well. We're just going to let the head drop from side to side. So if you want to close your eyes for this, you can. Should feel quite nice. Breathing in through your nose. Breathing back out through your mouth. Okay, we're going to go one more each side. I'm going to finish back in the centre. And then we're just going to turn the head side to side. So keeping the movement nice and slow and controlled. I want you to count to about 3 each side. Keeping the chin parallel to the floor as well. I'm going to go one more each side and finish back in the centre. And we're just going to tuck the chin down and pick the chin back up. Just take it as far as you can, don't overstretch. Everyone has a different level of flexibility in their neck. Could be that you can't take that head back very far at all, but just tilt the chin up slightly just so you feel a nice stretch down the front of the throat. When you tuck the chin down, just really think about trying to give yourself as many double chins as possible. So we're really tucking the chin in and down. Again, we're keeping the movement nice and slow and controlled. We're going to go one more each way. We're going to finish back in the centre. And we're just going to do another shoulder stretch while we're here. So we're going to take one arm out in front of us. We're going to pull that across the body. We're going to use the other arm just to pull that in. So you should feel a stretch in the shoulder and also into the back, so into kind of your scapula. Just that area there. If you'd like more, you can bend the arm up and bend that across that way. Okay, we're going to release that side. We're going to go the opposite side. So bring the arm up, pull that arm across. Again, you can keep the arm straight, or you can maybe try it with a bent arm. Keeping the breath nice and slow and controlled. Release that down. We're going to do our split sequence now. So we're going to come up onto our knees going to make sure our knees are roughly hip distance apart. And then we're going to stride our one leg out in front. Now, tips and tricks, take the out slightly to the side. You'll find if you try taking the foot straight out, you'll have a very narrow base and you'll wobble quite a lot. So take the foot out a little bit to the side, gives you a much wider base and a much better balance. I'm going to point and flex that foot. So just getting that hamstring used to that stretch. Taking some deep breaths. If you want a bit more, you can place the hands down on the floor. But just think about keeping the back nice and straight. If you start bending, I want you to come back up to this position because you completely lose the point of the stretch. So you're aiming to get the belly button down towards the thigh. It's not the head down towards the leg. The head is going to stay up. Okay, we're going to point that foot and we're just going to rotate that leg in and out. Okay, we're then going to flex the foot and we're going to do exactly the same. Okay, we're going to place that foot on the floor. We're going to bend the front knee and we're going to walk the hands forward. Push the hips down. Now if you want to stay down here, you can stay here. If you want a bit more, you can bring the hands up onto the thigh. You just get an extra stretch into the hip flexor. You may just need to kind of walk the toes out. So just go toe heel out a little bit further, just to spread that base a little bit. And think about sinking the hips down towards the floor. So we're going to keep the body nice and upright. So think about squeezing the shoulder blades together, lengthening up through the spine. Taking some deep breaths here. Again, if you want to increase this stretch even further, the leg that's back, so if your right leg is back, we're going to lift our right arm up and we're going to take that over. So we're just leaning over towards the left hand side. And you should feel a greater stretch in that hip flexor there. Bring that arm back up into the top, place the hand down. I'm going to place the hands back on the floor. We're going to straighten that front leg, that leg that's now straight out in front. We're going to take that directly out to the side. We're going to have the knee forward, so you should feel a stretch down the inside of the leg. Now if you want to stay here, you can. If you want a bit more, you can come down onto your elbows and you can even sit the bum back too and just push that foot out as far as you need to. So you just get in that stretch on the inside of the thigh. I'm going to take some deep breaths here. Okay, we're going to bring that leg in. We're going to sit back on the bent leg and we're going to place the foot roughly next to that knee with our knee bent up. So make sure you're sat back. We're going to interlace our fingers, place them on the knee that's up, and we're going to use our weight to push that knee forward. The bum is going to lift up off the back foot now, and that foot that's forward, the ankle, the heel is going to lift up off the floor. So that front leg, you should feel a stretch in your calf and in your Achilles, so the back of the bottom half of the leg. Okay, we're going to release that, we're going to bring that back up, and we're going to do everything on the other side. So we're going to come back into our kneeling position. We're going to stride that other foot forward. I'm going to point and flex the foot. And we can stay here if that's enough for our hamstrings, or if we can manage it, we're going to keep the back nice and straight. And we're going to aim the belly down towards the thigh and place the hands lightly on the floor. So again, we're keeping the shoulders back, keeping the head up. Okay, we're then going to point the foot and we're going to rotate that in and out. I'm going to flex our foot and we're going to do exactly the same. So just turning that in and out. Okay, place that foot flat on the floor, bend the knee forward, push the hips forward. We can stay here, or again, if you'd like a little bit more, I'm going to place the hands on that leg that's up. Taking some deep breaths here. Think about sinking the hips down towards the floor and driving that knee forward, trying to get that over the toes as well. Okay, if you'd like a little bit more, the leg that's back, so if that's your left leg, we're going to lift our left arm up and then we're going to lean over towards the right hand side. Taking some deep breaths here. Bring that back up into the centre. Place the hands on the floor. Straighten that front leg. Leg that's out in front, we're going to take that straight out towards the side. Inside of the thigh is going to be down towards the floor, so knees going to be facing forward, feeling the stretch down the inside. Now we can stay here, or we can bring that bum down, bring the elbows down for that extra bit of stretch. But just taking some breaths here. Okay, we're going to sit that up, bring that leg in that's out at the side, sit back on the bent leg, place that foot next to the other one. Have the knee bent up, interlace our fingers, place them on the thigh, and then use our body weight just to push that forward. So the heel is going to lift up off the floor and the bum's going to lift up off that back leg. Now I want you to think about driving the heel back down towards the floor. And you should feel a bit more of a stretch in that hamstring, in the calf and in the Achilles. Okay, we're going to release that back off and then we're going to come down onto the floor. We're going to do a nice glute stretch. I'm going to make sure I'm somewhere where you can see me. So we're going to have our knees bent up. We're going to pick our right leg up. We're going to cross the right foot over the left leg. We're going to push the knee away. Now if you want to stay here, that's fine. If you want to increase, pick that left foot up off the floor. Take the hands behind. Okay, place that back down. We're going to switch sides. So pick the other leg up, place the foot across the thigh. Push that knee away to start with. I'm going to pick the legs up and just take the hands behind. Okay, place the feet down. We're going to do our hamstring stretches. So we're going to take our one leg up into the air. Take our hands by the thighs and keep the leg nice and straight. If you want to straighten out the leg that's along the floor, you can. Just take some deep breaths here. I'm going to take the leg across the body. You should feel a stretch down the outside of that leg. Bring that back into the centre, take that out to the side. Again, you should feel a stretch down the inside of the leg. You can use the hand to support the leg, or you can place the hand on top just to pull that leg further down. Think about keeping both hips on the floor. Bring that leg back into the centre. Place the foot on the floor. Go to the opposite side. So pick that leg up, straighten that leg, and just place the hands on the thighs. We're going to take that leg across the body. You should feel a stretch down the outside of the leg. Bring that into the centre, take that all the way out to the side. Feel the stretch down the inside of the thigh. Again, you can use your hand underneath to support that leg, or you can place that on top to pull that leg further. I'm going to bring that leg back into the centre, and we're going to cross it over our right leg. We're going to take our arms out to the side, and then we're going to let our knees drop towards the right hand side. Breathing into the nose, back out through the mouth. Bringing the knees back into the centre. I'm going to cross the legs the opposite way, so the right over the left, and then let the knees drop towards the left hand side. We're going to bring our knees back into the centre. We're going to uncross the legs, and we're just going to hug the knees in towards the chest, wrap the arms around. And we're just going to rock side to side slightly just to release the lower back. And just take a couple of breaths here. Just bring your awareness back into the room. I'm going to roll onto one of our sides, and when we're ready, we'll make our way up into a seated position. So take a couple of deep breaths, and thank you very much for joining today. Hope you enjoyed all the stretches. It was quite nice and easy going. So if you need any more, check out the other videos for something a little bit harder. We have got a few more focused classes coming up. If you have any ideas of anything you'd like to do, just drop us a comment below. That'd be great. Thank you. See you soon.